Recording in progress.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, honorable members and our officials.
Good day,
Yes, good
Chair.
afternoon,
Afternoon,
Chairperson.
Afternoon. Thank you. Mkolisi, you will indicate to me whether we are forming a quorum or not, so that we can start with our meeting. Thank you.
Yes, we do have a quorum, Chair. I can confirm that.
Thank you. Let me take this opportunity and welcome all of you, honorable members and our officials, and appreciate the efforts and commitment to this committee. We know that people were in recess, but we are committed to our work. We are here, we're forming a quorum. So we'd like to start with our meeting. We've got the agenda before us, a draft agenda before us. The first item is apologies. I will invite Mkolisi just to indicate to us whether we do have apologies or not, so that we can consider them. Mkolisi, over to you.
Thank you, Chair. We've received an apology from Mr. Zungula from the ATM. Thank you.
That's the only apology.
It's the
Thank
only
you.
one at this stage.
Thank you. As long as we're forming a quorum, we'll just note the apology. Then the second item on our agenda is consideration of draft agenda. Can I have anyone to consider the draft agenda before us? If ever maybe we want to add something before we consider it, we're allowed to do so. Nicholas, you will assist me because I'm not able to see hands from this side. Any honorable member may raise up his hand or her hand for the consideration of the agenda.
We have Ms. Tseke and the Deputy Chief Whip of the Majority Party.
Okay, Honorable Tseke.
Good day, Chair, and greetings to all the members present and our support staff. I move that we accept the agenda as it is. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any seconder?
I second, Honorable Chair. Good afternoon to you and all colleagues in the platform. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members, before we proceed, I would like us to get a briefing from our advisor, Honorable Mr. Victor Ngaleka. There is a briefing which we need to brief this committee before we proceed with our agenda. I didn't want to say let's postpone the meeting because I don't have such powers. The powers invested on me is to chair the meeting with the collective as a committee. So before we proceed, I would like him to brief the committee so that a particular decision can be taken rather than to move with the agenda. Meanwhile, there is that particular briefing. So I believe he's with us, is amongst us. I would request him to give us that particular briefing. Honorable Mr. Ngaleka.
Good afternoon, Chair, and good afternoon, members. Chair, the matter that I had raised yesterday with you relates to the hearings which are supposed to start tomorrow. We have received a letter from the attorneys of the members who have been charged. Notices were sent to them more than a week ago, or more than 5 years. And their lawyers wrote to the committee, and one of the things that they ask is postponement because there are certain documents that they want. Mr. Tejan is going to speak on that matter, Chair. I think we could proceed with the agenda as it is.
Okay, thank you. Let's proceed with the agenda until such time. Then we go back to our agenda. I will now move to item 3, which is consideration of draft minutes of the 21st April 2023. Can we have such minutes before us so that we can consider them? I take as minutes read. What I would request from honorable members is to make corrections. In this page, next page, any correction? No correction. Item 8, any correction? No corrections. So item 9 is closing. So to those who were part and parcel of this particular day, can I have a confirmation of the minutes as a true reflection of what transpired on Friday, 21st April 2023, which was a visual meeting platform from Cape Town? Any member for the adoption of the minutes?
Yes, Chairperson, my hand is up, Mlenzana.
Thank you, Honorable Mlenzana. You are moving for the adoption of the minutes as a true reflection. Any seconder, honorable members?
Good morning, Chairperson. It's Honorable Dikgang Stock. I move to second for the adoption of the minutes as a true reflection. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The minutes are duly adopted. Can we go back to our agenda? Thank you. Item 4 is matters arising. Do we have any matters arising? You can flag them if we do have them.
Chair, we do have matters arising, but they've been lifted under item 5 of the agenda and item number 6.
Thank you. Let's now zoom to item 5, update on matters before the committee. The first item is complaint against conduct of Mr. M.N. Coulson MP. The second one, incident of the 9th and 10th June 2022. Then the third one is the incident of the 30th of August 2022. Anyone can take us through. Over to you.
Thank you, Chair. I was struggling with unmuting myself. Chair, I'll brief the meeting on the Mr. Paulson's matter. The members will recall that at the last meeting, we reported that consultations were scheduled by the initiator to consult with various members. Those members were Mr. Milam, Ms. Mazzoni, Mr. Byrand, Mr. Hansinger, the Deputy Speaker, and Mr. Chetty Morgan. And also, I forgot someone who's crucial, Ms. Van Dam. Consultations have taken place with all of them, and statements were drawn up. They have all confirmed. The last confirmation was received yesterday from Mr. Chetty Morgan. The only thing that now is outstanding is for us to get proposed dates from the initiator, which will be shared with you, Chair, for a go-ahead or a selection of an appropriate date or dates for the hearing of those matters. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Honorable members, under item 1, this is the situation. Any comment on item 1 as stated, so that we may come up with proposed date as the committee? Still, Victor, assist me because colleagues, assist me because I'm unable to see hands from my side, from my gadget. Technology is a problem.
Yeah.
So that we deal with item by item. Can we come with a proposed date, or we allow our officials to go and propose, and then they will inform us?
Chair, if I may come in, I'm
Yes.
suggesting, Chair, that we work with the initiator, that is Advocate Naidu, and with you in terms of arriving at an appropriate date for the hearing.
Thank you. Agreed, honorable members?
Yes, agreed, Chair. I think we agree with
Thank
that
you.
proposal.
Agreed,
Let's
Chair.
let's move to the next item, which is 5B, incident of the 9th and 10th June 2022. Can we get an update on that one?
Morning, Chairperson, and good morning to the honorable members and my colleagues. Just a minor thing, Chair, because I don't want to be accused in future of, putting titles to myself, which I don't have. I'm not an advocate. I'm an admitted attorney of the High Court of South Africa. So it's not correct to refer to me as Advocate Tekiana. So yeah. So my name is Andile, and of course my surname is Tekiana. Chair, you will recall that at your meeting of the 21st of April 2023, this committee chair took a decision which gave the administration leeway to go and operationalize the resolution of the committee. And of course, Chair, we approached the Speaker's office for a political authorization, which we got. We then approached the Office of the Secretary to Parliament for a financial authorization, which we got. And then we approached the State Attorney's Office, because remember, Chair, the initiator, that process is a separate process, the selection of the initiator, because the State Attorney's Office has got its own procurement processes. Now, the council was appointed, Chair, to act as an initiator on the 5th of June 2023. And of course, we then scheduled consultations, with counsel, as officials, NA table, legal services. And immediately after that, we then had a consultation with witnesses, Secretary to National Assembly, Acting Sergeant at Arms, ICT, the Hansard people, PPS, and so on. And subsequent to that, witness statements were drawn, which of course, everyone who's involved in this process is going to be privy to. Subsequent to that, the initiator then drew what we refer to as the notice of hearings, which is the charges. And as you know, Chair, regarding the 30th August 2022 incident, those were dispersed on the 15th of this month, and the notices in respect of the incident of the 9th and 10th, I think they were dispersed on the last week Friday, yes, on the 22nd. We have since, Chair, received correspondence from the attorneys of the affected members, Livet attorneys, requesting further particulars and making certain proposals, both to the initiator and the committee. And of course, the administration, Chair, is dealing with that. You will know that you might be aware that on the 23rd, which was on Saturday, we then responded to the attorneys to say that we acknowledge the receipt of the letter. Number two, the state attorney's office was closed because it was a long weekend public holiday, and of course they only opened this morning. As we speak, Chair, we had consultations with them. Of course, there's correspondence which we need to send to the other side regarding the information that they're requesting. But as you are aware, Chair, we're not the committee. On Sunday, they wrote to us another letter, Chair, basically saying that we need to respond to them before noon today. And of course, that can be possible or practicable in the sense that before noon means before 12. And of course, the committee meeting, is scheduled at 12, which is exactly what we're doing now. I think the most salient point, Chair, that this committee must also reflect on is the fact that they seek a postponement, Chair. And you know that the hearings were scheduled to start from tomorrow up until the 29th, which is Friday. And our view, Chair, because look, as the administration, we must give the committee our view. That's what we're here. And of course, the committee must decide. In other words, we're not the decision makers. The committee must take a decision. They are proposing, Chair, that we rather deal with these matters on the week of the 9th to the 13th of October, which is 9th is on Monday, and of course, I think the 13th is on Friday. We're not opposed to that, Chair. We have spoken to the initiator this morning because there must be a coordination of diaries, and the initiator is open to that. There's correspondence, Chair, that we will be addressing to the attorneys for the affected members this afternoon after this meeting, basically responding substantively to the further particulars which they've requested from us. But we thought it proper, Chair, that regarding the postponement, the members of this committee must deliberate on that and of course make a determination. But the point that we want to make, Chair, is that you must recall that the notices have been sent out. The hearing is supposed to start tomorrow. Our view, Chair, is that any application regarding the postponement, and you will see that they say that in their letter as well, should be done by a proper structure, which is, in other words, should be done at the hearing tomorrow. You will note that, Chair, we had arranged that even the kind of venue that we get must be a hybrid venue. We don't think that this will be an inconvenience to everybody. the members of the committee. There's nothing wrong with the members of the committee giving their attitude to what we're saying to what we're proposing now. But our view, Chair, is that the hearing that was scheduled for tomorrow, of course, should proceed on the basis that, Chair, all the outstanding matters, as I've reflected, even issues of case management and so on, can then take place in that meeting. Because you will recall, Chair, that even if the committee agrees to the date, from the 9th to the 13th, that will have to be, of course, minuted and, of course, agreed to at tomorrow's hearing. Chair, I think that's where we are. And of course, Chair, we will be open to taking further questions. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. On that one of giving you a title, I apologize, but it is good because it's not yourself who was giving yourself that particular title, but I respect your reasoning. So you must know that we don't meet regularly, and when they write here, they write advisor who are used to advocate. Maybe it's a blessing that one day you will become an advocate. Thank you for that. Honorable members, here is the briefing before us where Antonies are seeking for postponement. We are being advised here by our officials that certain steps need to be followed. The first one is that even if we are going to take a particular decision here, we cannot just say hearings are no more continuing tomorrow. Procedural, we need to converge, and then that particular incident will be dealt with procedural in a full-fledged meeting. That's what I heard. So I am now posing this to you, honorable members, to deliberate on it and also to make a determination on the matter as advised by our official. I will see by raise of hands. You will assist me, Kolisi, on identifying.
We have the Deputy Chief Whip of the Majority Party and Dr. Andrews' hands up.
Thank you, Deputy Chief Whip. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Let me take this opportunity to thank the attorney for the briefing. Honorable Chair, I think you have clarified me. The request by the honorable members, legal rep, I think it's fair that we agree to it, to say that if they've requested some documentation with more information, they can be afforded that as promised by the presenter. Then as for the proposal that we proceed with our meeting tomorrow, then if there is, we agree to that postponement, it should be in that meeting tomorrow. Then I think it's acceptable, Honorable Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chief Whip, Dr. Ndlozi. Honorable Ndlozi.
Thanks, Chairperson, and indeed, greetings to the rest of the honorable members. I agree with the proposal as tabled. I am, however, not sure, and I think it's only fair to get clarity from the not advocate but attorney on the significance of having this discussion in this meeting, and yet not being able to resolve. I'm not sure why should we meet tomorrow, because it is the same individuals. Why can't, on the basis of the papers, We've got the papers of the lawyers of the honorable members who are charged. We've got the response, in this case, of the attorneys and the initiator. Why can't we decide on the basis of the papers that what they are requesting is valid and therefore postpone to the dates that have been requested? Why does it require an actual hearing? Because matters can be decided on the papers. It would seem to me that it's enough for us to grant the postponement on the basis of the papers, unless I'm misled. And hence I had initially said, perhaps I could be clarified in that sense. Otherwise, I'm in full agreement with the postponement. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have any other hands, honorable members? Police?
We don't have hands now, Chair.
We don't have hands. I would request you to respond more specially on issues raised by Honorable Dr. Ndlozi, although he is in agreement, but there are certain things which he needs clarity. Can you clarify that?
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and thank you to Dr. Ndlozi as well. Look, Chair, that's a different process. Remember, Chair, there was a process leading up to these members being charged. And of course, the hearing, Chair, look, we've converged now, Chair, as the committee. I mean, the hearing, Chair, has got other people who are outside of the committee, like, for instance, the initiator and so on. So the fact of the matter is that, Chair, here, we came to you for purposes of, one, briefing you about where we are regarding these matters. That's the first point. However, that does not derogate, Chair, from the fact that the hearing, which is scheduled for tomorrow, must still go on, and we feel that this is the proper forum, Chair, to ventilate on those issues. But of course, Chair, we will leave it to the committee to give. I mean, it's own attitude to it. But for us, these are two separate processes. It's the hearing, and this is the committee meeting today. And of course, our view, Chair, is that anything that relates to the hearing must be decided at the hearing. Thank you.
Wat vuil word nie. Maar dit lyk baie oulik en gemaklik.
What's happening? Thank you. Honorable members can also assist the distinction between committee and hearing, because there are participants who are not part of the hearing of the committee, hence we cannot duly say we are postponing based on that, on those papers. So the view of our officials is that procedural, we need to go and pronounce it in a proper sitting, which is called hearing. That's my understanding. So I'm posing it back to honorable members to take a decision. We are in agreement that we postpone, but that postponement needs to be done in a proper meeting called hearing. Any taker?
Chair, we have Ms. Majosi and Dr. Ndlozi and Ms. Tseke, hands up.
Thank you. I will start with Honorable Dr. Ndlozi, because he's the one who posed that question to indicate to us whether he has been clarified. But from my side, I'm clarified, because there is a distinction between the two, because in the hearing there are other participants who do not belong to the portfolio committee. Honorable Dr. Ndlozi, can we hear from you?
Thanks, Chair. You'll forgive me for my confusion, Chairperson and the attorney. In the court processes, for instance, we could take that as precedence. Postponements can be reached on the basis of papers. I'm very open to, going into the actual hearing tomorrow, because the only absent person that has been mentioned is the initiator. and yet we are asked the question, and this is my confusion. I mean, then why are we asked here today that we should decide on the postponement if such a decision can only be taken in a hearing? You understand the confusion that the attorneys have caused here. So the question should have not arisen. That's number one. But perhaps the trick here is it because you have lawyers who have said you must respond before noon, and will you be responding them on the committee's decision? What's going to happen if at the same time you're saying we shouldn't decide here, but we must decide tomorrow? I'm not sure what's happening. I'm not sure what is going to be a train smash here, because you have a letter that you have received from the lawyers. We have given you until noon, but you're saying we shouldn't decide, we should decide tomorrow. Why did you raise the question today? And then secondly, what will you be saying to the lawyers? I don't know. I don't understand at all what the procedure is going to be from here, Chairperson. So I'm really asking for that clarity in the most basic sense. Thank you. I hope it's clear, my question.
Thank you, Dr. Ndlozi. Let's allow other members also to collaborate on this matter. What I heard properly from the officials, which are also, I believe they are also legal gurus like Dr. Ndlozi, is the issue of the decision, the postponement being made in a formal hearing rather than to be done here, because this is not a hearing. I think that's what I heard, but the confusion on Dr. Ndlozi will also assist us to clarify this. You must also advise, because we're here, we're a collective. So, but let me allow the two members to engage. Is Honorable, you said, Kolis, is Honorable Majosi and Honorable Tseke. Honorable Majosi.
Yes, Chair.
No, thank you, Chairperson, and greetings to all honorable members. I thought maybe I was clarified on the second comeback about the issue of us having a hearing meeting tomorrow, so that is where I wanted us, but you have clarified me, Chairperson. I think it is proper that if a meeting has been called, then a certain meeting must then sit so that we are able to convey that decision that we are taking today. That is my understanding, unless I'm not hearing it correctly, but I'm sure I'll be clarified, because I got it that we are in this committee agreeing with each other that we must postpone the hearings, but since there are other parties who do not belong in this committee, then they must be informed in that formal meeting that has been called for tomorrow. Maybe you will clarify me there, Chairperson, so that I get that we're in the same page. But if that is what I heard, then I agree, Chairperson, that we must then go tomorrow to that hearing meeting and then convey a message that we are postponing the hearing. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Member. You have assisted me. The portfolio committee has got the powers to take a decision. We're agreeing that we're postponing the meeting, Dr. Ndlozi. And then tomorrow, we're going there. When we enter there, we're going to announce or convey the meeting that as the committee, we have agreed on the request by lawyers of affected honorable members. We are postponing, and then the hearing will start on this day. I think it is now straightforward. I'm also trying to clarify to assist you, Dr. Ndlozi. Thank you. Honorable Tseke. Honorable members, are we still together?
Yes,
Yes,
Chair.
We are with you, Chairperson.
we are still here. We await to be notified by the chair if we can speak. Yeah.
Okay, it's Honorable Van der Walt. I've also put in the chat group. I see Dr. Annelie Lottery's hand is also raised. You haven't called her yet to speak.
And my hand too is also raised. The chair has not recognized me as yet.
Thank you, honorable members. Can I have those names, honorable members, so that I give you this opportunity? Mkolisi, assist me, please. Is honorable?
Honorable Dr. Lotriat, Honorable Klaba, hands up.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lotriat.
Thank
The
you,
stage is yours.
Chairperson. Thank you. Chairperson, as I understand the question, it is really not of material importance, as I understand it. If there is agreement between the different parties, I don't think it is necessarily a need. There's a need for us to meet to officially convey this. However, Chairperson, I believe it is in your powers to call a meeting and to decide that it will be officially obeyed at the meeting for tomorrow. But I don't think there will be any harm done if it is also done by mutual agreement by the parties following this particular meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Honorable Kapa.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I'm raising my hand to really be in support of the procedure as it is raised, that indeed we meet tomorrow and convey our postponement in a hearing. That it is done with the understanding that a hearing could be a different than a meeting. So procedurally, supposedly that is the right way to do. So, Chair, we remain ready, and also, as having said, as members, we also agree with the postponement. I propose that, Chair, we consider and listen to the advice as it is tabled, and that it be our decision as a meeting. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Kapa. My understanding is that there is no dissenting view on this matter. We're all in agreement that we're in agreement with the postponement. Dates have been tabled before us, which is the 9th to the 13th. So mine will be to take advice from legal gurus. Procedural, we need to meet tomorrow as the committee, but the status of the meeting should be hearing. So that's my ruling. We meet and convey the message, but in agreement, we're agreeing. So let's allow our officials to go and deal with the integrities of correspondences that they were supposed to do before 12 noon. They could not do so because there was no decision from our side. So I'm happy, honorable members, who are in agreement, all of us. Issues of questions, to me, they are assisting us to understand things more better. When Dr. Ndlozi raised this question, I listened to him attentively, but when it was clarified, I was also clarified. I got clarity. So I'm at this stage in the position of saying that we're agreeing as a collective. Let's meet tomorrow into that particular meeting, which is called hearing, and convey the decision. Thank you. Can we move to the next item? Thank you. The next item, it was incident of the 30th August 2022. My understanding is that the three goes as a package. Unless I'm not clear, I would like an assistant in this regard so that we can move to the next item. Can we be clarified on this one?
Thank you very much, Chairperson and honorable members, and to my colleagues. Chair, you will recall that these are two separate incidents and therefore two separate matters. And in both of them, we've got two separate counsel. In other words, for the incident of the 9th and the 10th, we have Advocate Tanya Golden, Senior Counsel. And for the incident of the 30th of August, which is the one we'll be meeting about tomorrow morning, there we have Advocate Norman Arendse, Senior Counsel, as the initiator. When I was reporting, Chair, I was reporting on both matters, simultaneously. But I think the only, you will see that there's a letter that we received on the 24th from the attorneys of the affected members. And part of the proposal they are making, Chair, is that perhaps when we do case management of these matters, because look, you've got one set of attorneys acting on behalf of all of these members in both these incidents. So there might be a move, Chair, in terms of, for instance, you will recall that the notices we issued last week Friday for the 9th and 10th June incident, we're saying that the set down for the hearing is the 11th to the 13th of October. And of course, given the request, Chair, that we need to manage these matters, we were amenable, to that view, Chair. So the fact of the matter, Chair, is that tomorrow morning, Chair, part of the progress which we need to make as the parties is how do we case manage these two incidents. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. I believe clarity has been made. You will have to manage those cases since we have tempered with the first set of dates. It will really affect the second set of dates, although we have got different representatives. That's what we are saying. So let's allow you to go and work on it with the initiator and myself, and then we'll report to the committee. I believe it is clear, this one. I don't think there is a need of any clarity or a question. Can we now move to item 6, honorable members, which is the new matters referred to the committee by the speaker? Can we get a briefing on the two items?
Thank you, Chair. It's Ngaleka, Chair. Chair, there are two matters that have been referred to the committee by the speaker. The first incident took place on the 9th of February during SONA. Members of the assembly are alleged to have committed contempt of parliament by getting onto the stage of the proceedings. The speaker has referred that matter. We have circulated to members the speaker's report, minutes of the proceeding that day, a link video footage of the incident, Chair, for members to have a look. And if members agree, then that the administration get an initiator for this incident. That's for the SONA incident, Chair. With respect to the second incident, this is a matter that is affecting Mr. Zwane, MP. Members will recall that the Joint Ethics Committee had found Mr. Zwane guilty of misconduct, and one of the penalties was that he must apologize in the House. He was given an opportunity twice by the Speaker to do so, and he failed to do so. And therefore, the Speaker has referred this matter to the committee to process. In terms of the Powers and Procedures Act, it needs to be investigated and reported upon to the House. But in order to do that, we need to follow the procedure, which requires that an initiator should be also appointed for this matter. That's the decision that is required for the committee, is whether or not the administration should proceed to get initiators for this matter or matters.
Thank you, honorable members. As the chairperson, I have gone through the footage as well as the Hansard, and I believe you have done so too, so that we're able to proceed with the referral by the speaker. The first item is the incident of the 9th February 2023 during SONA. So we need to make a determination to allow our officials to can appoint an initiator in this matter. Let me hear from you, honorable members. And please assist me to identify hands, please.
The Deputy Chief Whip hand is up.
Thank you, Deputy Chief Whip. I'm recognizing you, ma'am.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. I think what the officials are saying is it's a fair matter, which need them to do what they have to do. So we'll just follow suit after they followed all the processes that needed to be done before we start with these matters before us. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chief Whip. Any other taker?
Dr. Ndlozi and Mr. Mlenzana.
Oh, Honorable Dr. Ndlozi.
Thanks, Chairperson. Just a quick clarity, and I'll make a quick follow-up after. Is the advice that we give the table staff or whoever the opportunity to come back and advise us? I didn't quite understand what they are advising. May I just be clarified before I take a tangent?
Unfortunately, I didn't hear the issue of advice. I heard the issue of allowing them to appoint an initiator on the two issues referred by the speaker, but for purpose of respect, I will allow them to answer that, Dr. Ndlozi, and then you will come back.
Thank you, Chair. The Persons Privilege Act, Chair, requires that when an allegation of conduct constituting commerce has been made, then it must be dealt with in terms of a fair procedure. That fair procedure is scheduled to the NA-Rules Committee. Now, for purpose of investigation of that, the fair procedure or the procedure to the rules requires that an initiator should be appointed, Chair. And that's a decision of this committee, Chair, to make.
Thank you, Dr. Ndlozi. You can now come in. Clarity has been made.
Thanks, Chairperson, for your indulgence. It seems to me that we have to take a decision whether we initiate proceedings or not. So a matter is referred to us. We have been furnished with the Hansard and the video footage. So the question has to be posed, I think, Chairperson, which is to the rest of us as to whether, we agree in instituting quote unquote disciplinary proceedings against the members that have been referred. And in this case, with regards to the 6.A, I think I'm named there. So I've got a conflict of interest, obviously. But I'm saying that it seems to me that it's not just the matter is referred, therefore it's a must that it must go into trial or into a disciplinary proceedings. Shouldn't we pose the question whether we must do that or not? That's where I am, and I think I can be advised otherwise, but it seems to me that that's the case. I mean, we can reach a different decision. We can say we don't agree that the matter must proceed. I'm not sure, but I think that question has to be posed, and it has to be posed properly. It must not be assumed that that is automatic. Thanks.
Any other honorable members in this regard? I'll come back.
We have
Then
Honorable Kaba and Honorable Mlenzana.
Honorable Kaba, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I rise to be in support of the Deputy Chief Whip because I think there is clarity and guidance to say these matters are referred to us and we need to allow the officials to do what is necessary for them to do to appoint the initiator, because we can't be at the level whereby we say these things didn't happen. That's why we know of them. We have been sent the Hansard and so on. We must arrive at a particular determination at some point. So we are into that process. So I'm rising to be in support of the Deputy Chief Whip. Let's allow the officials to do what is necessary and the initiator be appointed to investigate the matter, and then we'll be advised further on our process, which we have to be followed. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Mlenzana. Honorable Mlenzana.
Yes, thanks, Chairperson. And I want to be careful, Chairperson, not to be seen to be directly responding to Honorable and the table for discussion, has been actually tabled, is as such that we should, after one would have read the Hansard and watched the proceedings as they were sent to us, decide then, because look, the officials cannot on their own just therefore, Chairperson, as a person who had time to go through both the proceedings in terms of viewing them.
Thank you. Any other taker?
Time to go through the Hansard.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you, Honorable Mlenzana. Although Kata, but nguzwile kuti you are in support that we proceed with the matter.
Yes.
Any other taker? Please assist me. Do we still have any other hands?
No hands now, Chair.
No hands. Thank you. Honorable members, my understanding here, just not to say I support this one, I don't support this one. The referral before this committee is to can study the footage, the video footage, as well as the Hansard. And then we decide to make any determination, which is to proceed with the matter. But my understanding is that this process should be a fair procedure. So I believe we need to allow this committee to take this decision to allow our officials to appoint an initiator as soon as possible to can be able to proceed with the matter. But the process should be a fair procedure. Then let's move to the next item, which is
Dr. Andros's hand is up.
Honorable Dr. Ndlozi.
Yes, Chairperson. No, it's fine. The clarity, I know that this is a bit redundant, but so the initiator is coming to do what? To tell us whether there was a violation of rules and so on and so forth. And then upon doing so, then we take a decision whether to proceed with a trial or not. That's the clarity I'm seeking. That's the strict clarity that I'm seeking, because if there is a question before us whether there must be a trial or not, I think it should be clear so that we are able to express ourselves. Upon which, if the answer is positive, then an initiator is appointed to initiate proceedings. I don't know if that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, I can say it does make sense, but my problem is that we are conflicted. I don't know. I will seek advice from Advocate Honorable Ndlozi that if I'm affected, am I allowed to participate on a case where I'm conflicted? So, but because this is South Africa's democracy, anyone has got the right to do this. And yourself, Honorable Ndlozi, with due respect, my doctor, you are the one who must assist us, because here we're working as a team. You must be with us and pretend as if Dr. Ndlozi's name is not there, so that we are objective. My understanding, the clarity, Doctor, you are seeking, to me, I don't think that the clarity given by our officials, we still need any other clarity if we have studied the Hansard as well as the videos, so that we are saying the referral by the speaker were in support that let this matter be investigated. When we investigate a matter, a person like yourself, doctor, who is a legal guru, you really understand it better than us. We're not saying that there is anyone who's guilty now. We're saying this incident need to be investigated, and we're in agreement with the referral by the speaker. I think I'm trying to clarify it properly, although I'm not a legal guru. But my problem with you is that you are conflicted. So I still want to consult. You are not supposed to participate where you are affected in terms of law. So I think that's the position. So the committee is saying, let's allow the officials to appoint an initiator so that this matter be properly investigated in a fair procedural way. We're not saying those who are saying they have done this and that, they are guilty, Dr. Ndlozi. Honorable members, my understanding is that we allow our officials to proceed appointing an initiator on this, because we have studied the video footage as well as listened even to the Hansard. But we're not saying anyone is guilty until all procedural according to law has been done. We're not in court here. This is just a committee. So can we move to item 6B, honorable members? Referral of conduct of Mr. MJ Zwana MP. Fortunately, I'm also part of that committee, that side. So as a chairperson of this committee, I know and understand what transpired, but I'm not influencing anyone. I'm requesting honorable members to allow or to accept what the speaker has referred to us, to allow our officials to go and appoint an initiator on this matter, which is 6B. Any taker, honorable members?
Honorable Kaba's hand and the Deputy Chief Whip.
Yes, Honorable Kaba.
Thanks, Chair. I think that is in order and procedural, Chair. I think I raise my hand to be in support of that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chief Whip.
Thanks, Honorable Chairperson. It's a fair process to be followed, Honorable Chair. There is nothing that we can conclude on without putting it to the necessary process. So I think that is the way to go, Honorable Chair. I support that. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chief Whip. Any taker on this matter? Is there any other hand?
Chair,
Yes.
my apologies. It's Majosi.
Yes, Honorable
I
Majosi.
am in support of the previous two speakers. My problem is that I don't know what's happening with my network. I can't now raise my hand, so that's why I just came in. My apologies for that.
Don't worry, baby. We understand these issues of network. Thank you for your input. If there is no any other hand, honorable members, let's conclude that we are in agreement that the two matters referred to us by the speaker were in support, and allow all our officials to go and appoint initiators in this regard. So, honorable members, item 7 is closing. Thank you so much. The decision is that we meet tomorrow, legal hearing, and then convey our message of postponement. Thank you. The meeting stand adjourned.